After weeks of testing the Gourmia soft serve and frozen drinks maker, I've had some wins and some fails. In this video, I'm sharing what worked and what didn't, and the tips that actually make a difference. Hi, I'm Meme, welcome to my channel, and trust me, you'll want to see how I went from the smoothest Rolo ice cream to the iciest Kool-Aid cone. So keep on watching. Starting with the soft serve program first, which runs about 40 minutes and defaults to level 10 setting. My apologies, in my first video I said it defaults to level 1, but I misunderstood the display panel because it was my very first time using it. If you can get the base right, the texture should be creamy and smooth. I got better results using half and half cream versus heavy cream, which left little clumps and a greasy feeling in my mouth. But 18% coffee cream will work better as it has the perfect balance for smooth ice cream. One of my biggest wins was the Rolo ice cream. That base already had stabilizers like carrageenan and guar gum, so it helped to make it creamy and smooth, and it also helped give it a nice thick texture. My kids are obsessed with this recipe. I will link the full recipe in the description box. That said, a member of my Gourmia group tried caramel instead of Rolo, and it turned out much thicker because I believe it has more sugar, caramel syrup, and additional stabilizers like xanthan gum compared with Rolo. So if you try any of these, it's best to check the ingredients first and then adjust or add anything additional to the recipe. Similar, peanut butter and Nutella was also another hit. Even though the peanut butter left a slight texture visually, the scoop itself was perfectly smooth when you ate it, especially when you sprinkled chopped Reese's chocolate on it. Oh my goodness, it was so good. One bite of that and we were all loving it. For my orange creamsicle, I used up fresh mandarins, first juicing them, and this came out really good because it was fresh juice. There was no icy texture. My kids couldn't agree on a Kool-Aid slushie or a vanilla ice cream, so I decided to combine the two of sorts. While it looked really good, the high water content in the Kool-Aid juice created an icy texture. It was a good idea, but next time I would consider using a powder form like Tang instead. Now here's where things got interesting. If you use pineapple Fanta or any watery liquid mixed with condensed milk and heavy cream, the extra liquid helps prevent tiny clumps from forming, and it just gives you a really nice, smooth, creamy, soft serve. From the very first lick, my kid shouted out, "This tastes just like the one at Disneyland." So yes, it basically takes you to Disneyland and back because it really tastes that good. And it's the closest thing I got to a Dole Whip. So basically use thicker juices like I did with the orange creamsicle, or use soda because it has more sugar. That helps the mix stay smooth instead of turning icy or forming tiny clumps. Other ingredients that will work well are coconut milk, coconut cream, even a small amount of instant pudding and cream cheese helps as a stabilizer. Just be sure to mix it really well. You can of course use soft serve mixes, but they are pricey and hard to find. I usually skip soft serve mixes because they're full of extra sugars and stabilizers. I prefer making my ice cream from very few ingredients that are cheaper to find, and I also don't like using more than 4 or 5 ingredients. Costco does carry a vanilla mix, but only at their business centers. I couldn't find it anywhere here in BC, but I know some members of my group have been able to find it, and they say it works really well. And before I go on, let me remind you that I am not a cooking or recipe channel, but I do share my recipes and tips, whether it's ice cream or air fryers, on my Facebook page. I will leave links in the description box. Slushies are the easiest thing, and my kids help themselves to making this all by themselves. Whether it's 2 cups or 2 cans of soda pop, I found the program runs for 30 minutes. But one of the days I needed to make a bigger batch using 4 cans, and this time I increased the texture level to 10 because it was like 35 degrees Celsius outside, so I wanted to see if the thicker texture would help make the slush last longer. This took 1 hour to make, and you can see the texture was definitely thicker than that of level 5, and it was perfect for the hot day. I do find soda pop makes better slush than fruit juices though. When my kid tried the pina colada fruit juice, it was very watery and it melted into juice really quickly. The Frappe program was definitely a learning curve. It runs for 30 minutes. The first time I made it, I followed the recipe in the booklet and used the default level of 5, and it came out thin, basically just like a slush drink. The second time I adjusted the milk and cream ratio, and on top of that I increased the texture level to 8. But that just swung the other way. It came out thick and icy, almost like an icy ice cream that you'd need to scoop instead of sip. Not bad, but not the drinkable frappe I was hoping for. So next time I think it's best to use the recipe in the book, but use the highest texture level. Hopefully that creates the sweet spot where it's frothy, cold, and still sippable through a straw. I found the sorbet program a little finicky. It runs for 45 minutes with a default texture of 10. You have to blend everything first, and even then you need enough juice to thin it out so it can pour into the machine. If you only have frozen fruit on hand, it's a good idea to thaw it first before blending because that helps to thin it out. After all the blending, adjusting and churning, the mango sorbet came out really nice, but honestly it was just too much work. Before I dive into the tips, I want to take a few seconds to let you know that I do full hands-on reviews of kitchen appliances and home equipment, showing you the wins, the fails, and the little things you only find out once you actually live with the product. If that's the kind of honest reviews you've been looking for, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Here are some extra tips for using your Gourmia ice cream maker. Starting with the biggest one first, always check the dispenser before pouring in your ingredients. If it's not pushed back into close position, it will leak. I've learned this the hard way, doing it at least 3 times. Next, pay attention to your starting mixture. If it's thin and runny, increase the texture setting to max. If it's already thick, leave the texture alone. And if you're using fruit chunks, blend everything first. Do a quick taste test before pouring it into the machine to make sure it tastes good. If you leave the machine on keep cold too long, the texture softens. But tapping the arrow up to the maximum texture makes the machine rerun the program and thickens it back up. That actually saved me once when I completely forgot about my kids' soccer practice and I had to wait for them to come back. For sugar-free options, people in my Facebook group have recommended things like allulose, monk fruit or stevia. I haven't tested those out myself, but I will drop a link to my Facebook group if you guys want to come and check it out or ask any questions there. If you have any leftovers, freeze them for the next day, but let them sit out on the counter for about 5 minutes before serving. Use them within a couple of days. Because it's fresh ingredients, they do start to lose their flavor. And the rinse cycle, honestly, it's a waste. You end up losing so much of what you've made. I'd rather scoop everything out manually and just wash out all the parts by hand. And of course, the toppings dispenser is just a mess maker. I don't even use that anymore. I'm no expert, but these are just the little things that worked for me. If you found tricks that work even better, please do share them in the comments so we can all learn from each other. So if you haven't already bought this, would I recommend this to you? Design wise, it looks nice, but the materials are cheap. The dispenser especially feels fragile. I always think I'm going to crack it when I pull out and insert the pin. I don't see this part of the machine lasting more than a couple of years, if that. And I'm always checking it for cracks because I can just foresee it happening. That said, if you catch it on sale, it's worth it to buy. You can pay more for something like a Ninja that lasts 5 to 7 years, or you can grab one of these at a really low price and swap it out every couple of years depending on how much you'll actually use it. The biggest highlight is the fact that you don't have to wait 24 hours. There's no pre-freezing ingredients because it has a built-in compressor. My kids have been hammering it with slushies and it's still going strong. So maybe I'll be proven wrong, I don't know. And since I got it from Costco, I know I can return it if anything goes wrong with it, which does make me feel a lot better about the purchase. So far our favorites have been the soft serve and slush programs. I haven't even touched milkshake yet because the ice cream and slush are always the first choices. If you want to see the full unboxing and demo, check out my full hands-on review video. I'll link it in the description box and at the end of this video. And if you like honest hands-on appliance reviews without the sugar coating, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like and I hope to catch you in my next video.